This is the Let's Unpack That podcast. I'm your host, Lyall Barons. This is a very special thing. We actually got some toys with us today.
An auspicious start.
Right. I've never been referred to as a trinket before. But,
I'm not calling you guys toys. I'm saying what we had. Like, we got these. This will be on YouTube. They'll be able to see it.
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The setup.
See, I thought my mind immediately went to snack, the Instagram type snack.
I got. All right. So let's. I thought you only followed basketball, sir.
There basketball players on Instagram?
It is very funny to see what porn stars NBA players are following.
That's true.
Because they follow a lot of porn stars.
They definitely do.
Yeah. Did you see Ray Allen's thing?
I did not.
Yeah, so Ray Allen, this is when Twitter first was started. Ray Allen sent something that was meant to be a DM, and it was can't wait to lick your pussy and all types of shit.
Oh yeah,
and it was public.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah,
Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it was also just really not smooth dirty talk. It was imagine me kissing you and then kissing your pussy, and it's that's a long travel distance, and he was making it seem like an easier venture than that is.
Yeah, it was a laundry list of
Maybe she has a real small torso.
But he was fucking porn stars and he got game, so he's not supposed to really have game.
Yeah.
Let me introduce the guest. We have the fabulous Matt Duckett, wonderful comedian that I've known for over the years. I feel compelled to do my intros I do for you on stage.
Right? Yeah, this guy's open for this person, this person. No, yeah, I mean, for me, day one, I was probably doing stand-up for a month and a half probably before we first met. So, you're a big bro in the comedy game, man.
Appreciate that,
Ground
man.
zero.
Yeah. Ground zero.
Nice.
Then we got my cousin, William Jeffery.
We've got DNA relations. So we
Yeah.
go way back. Before we existed way back.
You're like William Jeffery, because publicly I kind of want to call you DJ Focus.
That was so long ago.
I know, but it's that's your public persona to me in my mind. Because so I'm glad I have the both of you here, because Matt, our relationship is big brother, little brother, comedy, here's how you move.
Yep.
I remember giving him pussy sets. He would have a girl, and then I'd be okay, yeah, get you just do 5 minutes. And then he was under 21, and I send him some little sweet drinks. And give him
just something to loosen me up a little bit.
And then the version of that for me with Will is back when he was DJ Focus. I was 18, 19 years old, and he would be yeah, just carry this thing and carry my equipment. And then by 2008, it was just nothing but a laptop.
So back then there was
crates
and
by
things
then
to carry.
Yeah, but by 08 that was done.
And then the bag was mostly just a bag of alcohol.
Yeah,
a laptop and 6 drinks.
And rubbing my meat on girls in the club, back when you could still do that.
I think it was referred to as dancing, but yeah, there was a lot
colloquially known as dancing.
Wait, let's talk about rubbing your meat on girls in the club back in the day.
Sure, all right. Let's go
in a consensual way. Because okay, musically, that shit ain't done no more. Because I noticed a shift. We would be in what would be playing? It'd be all the way turned up, party like a rock star, and then Wayne and shit like that, and Jeezy. And then all of a sudden I noticed the music changed, shot. So it was more fist pumping, and we got away from the music naturally being where you can go rub your meat on a girl.
Yeah, it really went. Jersey Shore had way more cultural influence than anyone is willing to admit. And it's bad that they did, but yeah, they really brought out the more electronic, just like you said, fist pumping, shuffling, LMFAO shit.
Yeah, and it was it became more up tempo, and I'm just gonna say it it felt whiter, and it was just because our natural thing is to do some gyrating and really even back to Africa, you say
it got a little electric. And that you can't gyrate at that BPM. It's just a little too fast.
We've done away with hips in the clubs at this point, for sure.
And then it went from, what did it go from fist pumping to like the TikTok synchronized choreography?
Yeah.
I think some stuff happened in between them, but yeah.
But that's definitely where we're at now, where it's just like, why are we, everyone's basically just doing an elaborate conga line
Yeah.
in the club.
I mean, I would say
The
like
Macarena
the
on
beauty of like
steroids.
the bump and grind is like when you're like a frustrated, like, you know, sexually frustrated like teenager, like just letting that aggression out and like going and listening to like Jaquan's Tipsy.
Yep.
And then just like, oh, that girl got a big booty. She won't have sex with me, but she likes to dance. and letting that all out, that feels great.
Oh yeah. No, high school was a very interesting time. We had one dance where, you know, people were going nuts, and then they banned grinding. The freak dancing is what they called it.
It definitely
when I was in high school.
as freak dancing.
Yeah, so they were like,
we're
we're banning freak dancing, and the kids at my school were so mad. We had a student-led town hall where we debated that we should be allowed to rub our genitals on each other.
I got to hear the pros.
I want
for genital rubbing.
Before we get into the pros, for context for the listeners, Matt, the town you went to high school, you went to Walnut Creek or some shit?
In Lafayette, California, basically the same thing.
So-
Extremely white school.
So Matt grew up in the area of the Bay Area where like E40 and Too Short live, or like and not Too Short, but Steph Curry and Steve Kerr back when they still played in Oakland. So like Matt grew up around like the
affluent.
Yeah. All the famous rich people you know in the Bay Area, that's where Matt grew up.
Yep, exactly.
Tell us about that town hall meeting.
Right. So the famed Bentley Town, our school name was Bentley too, which is just like,
because what else would it be?
Spot on.
I feel like you grew up in Woodcrest.
I was the original LaMelo Ball, is what I like to say. No, but yeah, the famous Bentley Town Hall of what had that been, 2009. So the pros that were articulated were freedom of expression. Someone literally tried to pull the First Amendment on our school about being able to dance how we want to I got 5 on it. Like, it was freedom of expression.
And this is America.
Yeah.
And that's not even like really a bump and grind song. So you guys were just horny.
Oh, yeah. No, that was
high school. Yeah.
Private white high school. That is a breeding ground for sexually charged youth. It is, it's a whole nother level. But yeah, freedom of expression. And we really, really, really want to do this. And those,
one good argument.
Those were the 2 points,
followed by extreme desire.
No, those were the 2 points. The only students who spoke were dudes. None of the girls.
Not at all surprising.
Yeah, we're just probably sitting silently, hoping like, please keep this band intact.
You think so?
I don't know. It's interesting. I think that most of the girls would have, if there was a vote, would have been like, yeah, totally, let's just dance how we want to dance. But, you know, there were definitely people on the more, let's say, Amish side of things where they're like, maybe if we just do the Macarena and leave it at that.
Well, so here's something a little ignorant, maybe, but whatever. Let's try this. I feel that bumping and grinding was like a good introduction to consent somewhat. Because you remember, you go up to a girl and you get ready to rub your meat. And then she turned around and she looked you up and down, and then like she'll be like, no, or then she'll just start shaking her ass extra hard. That happened to me one time. One girl she stopped, looked at me, and it was like a scene out of like a Nick Cannon movie. We were like, oh, she looking at Lyall, she looking at the nigga, and then she just started grinding her ass real hard and knocked me the fuck over.
Wow. That really is a Nick Cannon movie.
Yeah.
Bad physical comedy. It's a Nick Cannon movie for sure. That's crazy. The students won.
That's all.
We were permitted to moving forward consensually freak dance with one another. I remember that there was like a winter dance, and I had just had a high ankle sprain, so I was like in a walking boot, and I had a cane to help balance. And at this dance, a girl just came over and just threw it back, and I'm like trying to stabilize myself on my walking boot.
You gotta get the old man kickstand action. You get it at an angle.
Exactly. Yeah, completely unable to enjoy what was going on because I was just getting the core workout of my life.
It'd be awesome if I wasn't afraid I was gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine this is like the Great Debaters. Denzel gonna do like, let me show you. You gotta let them know you can still grind on ass and rub your meat no matter what.
What you gotta do, you gotta get the cane at an acute angle from the boot in order to give maximum stability.
I did not have the angle. I did not have the angle at all.
So I wanted to do this up front, but we just got to talking about a subject I was passionate about.
Dancing, also known as meat grinding.
Freak dancing.
I said dancing in E40's neighborhood.
Right. So today we had a Derek Chauvin verdict.
We did.
So I'm going to say for me, I'm going to let you guys speak because I'm sure you guys may have more to say than me. Me, one thing I've done is like I've found I've started like, I don't want to use the term mute these updates of stories, but I'm somebody of the belief that I don't believe that cops will stop killing niggas until we start killing them like they kill us. Because that's the only reason, I believe.
It's a little chaotic, but all right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Continue, Malcolm Barons.
I honestly believe that's not gonna stop happening until like niggas just start killing cops. Like I honestly believe that. Like, yeah, they could go to jail, but you're like, yeah, one of us went to jail, but they're gonna keep doing it, and a bunch of them can do 4 years, a bunch of them can do 7 years, and I believe like that's not going. Same reason like with slavery is like this. Abe Lincoln was feeling the pressure because like niggas just kept killing white people. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I stand with it.
There was some economics involved, but
well as
I think it's a very good point when people say that this is the bare minimum that the system had to do in order to keep itself alive.
Yep. I agree with that.
It's all right. We'll give you this one. And in return, we're just going to keep doing the same old bullshit that we've been doing because, hey, we gave you one. Remember that one? That was a really good one that we gave you. Oh, man.
O.J. Simpson.
Didn't that one feel really good? So forget.
Right. The rest of these are fine.
Yeah. Forget it. What else is going on? So, it's a great moment that is to be determined if it is, just one in a continuation of many. And I have little faith.
But I mean, to be fair, like to add some sort of positive spin to it, right? Like that it is I guess I can't call it a full step, but it's like a glance in the right direction, right? Absolutely. Like you got to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. If we are to avoid just everybody killing everybody. And I don't know that is the best solution. I get what you're saying. I
never said it was the best solution. I just said it was the solution.
It is a solution.
It is.
I feel like we gotta, you have to accept on some level that it is a piece of progress.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm not gonna jump up and down and hallelujah, let's all give a big hug and we've made it, equality, great, boom, problem solved. But at least we got this.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson from Obama getting elected. We really thought we were done when Obama got elected.
Yeah,
and then
a little bit too much celebration. Like, oh man, we didn't address any of the problems. We spent all that time. Yes, we can.
I'm saying a lot of the racist,
not actually doing it.
A lot of the racist Aryan mentality comes from a bully perspective. Like, you know what I would hate on social media and like during like right after George Floyd and Blackout Tuesday a lot? I hate it when I would see these memes talking about black people, we are tired. Your black friends are tired. Don't say that shit, nigga. Because nothing a bully hates more than like bullies feed off of that shit. Right. Like, yeah, I like you niggas are tired. I like you niggas are exhausted. Yeah, you niggas need to come together and do kumbaya. We really getting to you.
Yeah, I mean the entire basis of the
I'm not tired, nigga.
Of the alt-right and like the current I would say racist political climate is entirely about owning the libs.
Yes.
So when you post stuff like, oh, this group that is being repeatedly targeted is emotionally exhausted, they're like, great. Like I said, it's like, that is exactly what we are going for. We will continue to do this then.
Get tired enough, maybe you'll quit.
Yeah, Exactly. So I'm with you there. I don't know. I don't know about going Ice-T body count cop killer, but
I mean, I never said I would participate. I'm just like saying like
Only
all
solution is anarchy.
yo, I got some Toussaint Louverture motherfuckers up in
Look,
this
we
bitch.
have 4 cameras rolling right now. My goals are clear. Right? Like, my ambitions are very clear for what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying it's like, you know, like that's what you need to do for y'all to, you know.
Well, saw how that worked out for the Capitol, right? It's the same thing. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just saying you guys should. And then he went home. And the Capitol got set on fire.
Are you trying to say that like I'm Donald Trump for angry niggas?
I'm just saying that your position sounds very similar to a position that I recently saw go very poorly for America. That's all.
Different.
I just, you know, that's how I'm interpreting it. And
No.
that's my bad.
I'm just imagining Lyall making like an Instagram live from like his office, just being like, "We love you, but go home."
Y'all niggas is cool. Y'all straight. Get you something to eat. Go to your grandma's house. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds very similar. Like, look, the only way it's going to stop is if we start killing cops. I mean, I'm not going to kill them, but I'm just saying that's the solution. What are you going to do about it?
Oh, shit.
That's how I heard it. Like, it sounded like a challenge almost.
Well, you know, I don't. I don't want to say it was a challenge, but I'm just saying it's like it's a theory. They're like, that's what it really would take. It's like really like just more and more cops getting. It's like, no, you really gonna rep this Blue Lives Matter now, nigga.
It's certainly an attention-grabbing thesis statement.
I'm not saying this for like clickbait or anything.
Sure. I will read the rest of that.
Yeah,
paper,
all right. Well, let's see what else he's got to
agree
say about
with it.
this. How is killing cops going to bring equality? Let me see how that's going to work out.
Chris Dorner. We're going back to him. They're still not giving him that documentary because they don't want to see niggas off a Chris Dorner documentary. I don't think that's anything anybody wants to see. You feel me? Because I mean, we saw like, you know, we saw niggas off of like fucking the 13th.
Okay.
We saw how niggas react to that, and it's like, but because it's not aggressive, it's intellectual, it's facts. But we saw there was like a collective thing in the air. And when I say niggas, I mean like black people, Latinx, fucking, you know, your more liberal studies individual.
Filipino warrior fans since 2015.
All of that. Excuse me, all that shit. So I'm saying if they give us, like for me, and when I say niggas, like to talk about people like me, like they gave us the defiant ones. They gave us OJ Made in America, and we're like just sitting in the crib watching, oh, man, OJ did that. Man, Dr. Dre and man, Dre was really smacking bitches and dropping hits with Snoop, right? If they give us a Chris Dorner documentary, they don't want to do that. But all I'm saying is Chris Dorner, we're going to go back and we're going to really unpack that time, and it's going to spark a whole nother. I mean, we saw Chappelle bring it back on the...
on 27, some whatever it was called.
You know.
Here's a question in relation to this. How many white people have reached out to you guys today to be like, hey, a good thing how, because I'm at 4. I'm at 4 so far today.
I've kind of made it so like white people don't talk to me about certain things. Like my online persona, my stand-up.
That pause, man. At first it sounded like I've made it so white people don't talk to me.
Well, no, because I'm not
about certain things.
I'm not 100% happy yet, so I have not accomplished that.
We've got numbers to whittle down.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd have to say I'm in a similar boat. Like, no, I think that the white people in my life know better than to like send me a congratulation text about, you know, a murder trial. That's
the problem with looking like me is that people just think that I'm the messenger.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so we had like a little bet going on before that. Like, how long would it take for us to talk about how Matt Duckett looks? But I do want to talk about this, though, because you did bring this up, and it is a really good point.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think... Well, actually, let me ask you this. So, like, when all that shit started to happen, did you, Matt, did you, Will, get any... I'm talking like the Blackout Tuesday era. Did any of you guys have people that are not black reach out to you? Like,
for the verdict?
No, not the verdict. I'm saying like right when George
Just
Floyd happened
like a
and
check-in.
Blackout Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah, like a check. Like, hey, how are you? How are you really?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like 5 or 6 people.
How close to them are you?
A lot of them were a good amount of coworkers and ex-coworkers who are like, people that'll fuck around with on a Zoom call for 10 minutes on the clock, but not people that like I interacted with outside of like the confines of those work environments. A couple of like, just like your typical like white female liberal comic types also reached out, were like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm not the person to reach out to for this. There are people, I sweat a little bit when I get pulled over, but I'm not in complete fear of my life. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, this is something that's interesting because I mean, like it is fun to make fun of how you look, but like outside of that,
just so casually mean.
No, but it's like he does it too, though.
It's.
I didn't say that to be mean. I said it like, okay, when I bring Matt Duckett off, like if I'm hosting a show or whatever, or he's hosting, we make the joke like, oh, Lyall looks like a public school version of Matt Duckett.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He calls me like his ghetto cousin and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
We're
actually twins, but he stole all my melanin in the room, shit like that.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
But what I want to ask you though is, because you also do hear like racist shit that me and Will won't hear.
Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely. No, I mean, especially growing up in those
much,
dude, it is a lot. Growing up in those areas where it was like, it was, either just me and my brother or me and my brother and some or E40's kids, I guess.
Droopy.
Just when you're, but yeah, especially for me, looking the way I do, there were plenty of times where people just like, it didn't register to them that I was half black. And so they would say some wild shit. I remember I was at a basketball camp and, we got assigned teams or whatever, some like random scrimmage game. And the other team was like all black kids and was all white kids on the other team. And one kid literally just goes, all right, guys, let's show these niggers who can really ball. And I was just like,
oh my God.
Excuse me? At that point, I didn't have my hair grown out. I had like a buzz cut. So I just like, there was no, I guess, that's not true. Cause I looked exactly like Tayshaun Prince when I was a kid. When I was in like middle school,
Yeah, you kind of did.
I looked exactly like Tayshaun Prince.
I've seen your throwbacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one told him about the athletic stereotypes either.
Yeah, it's like,
bro, that's not even the right position to take. If you're gonna,
exactly. It's like,
They
dude,
thought they was.
get on.
They had watched too much American History X where you had Ed Norton like running ISO and dunking. Like Ed Norton ain't fucking dunking in the middle of no ISO.
Exactly. Just not they saw that scene in the Adam Sandler Longest Yard movie where he's like raining threes on Michael Irvin for some reason.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Adam Sandler.
It's like, first off, weird booking. Second off, Adam Sandler is not hitting a jump shot over Muggsy Bogues with Alzheimer's, let alone Michael Irvin. But yeah, no, shit like that happened all the time where people would like drop an M-bomb or just say something casually racist. I remember another good one. I had a neighbor across the street, Carl, who was like 95 years old. He used to fall down a lot because he was, old as shit.
Because his body was done being alive.
Exactly. It was just like, please
We're trying
kill
to give
me.
you a sign, Carl. We're tired. Why are you still here?
Exactly. That was exact. You could see in his eyes, his will, his just desire to die, but just something was keeping him on earth.
When I wake up in the morning, I
As
even
a
get up
cheese.
right away because I hope that I'm dead. But
Exactly.
here I'm at breakfast again. Just these damn cornflakes.
Keeping those fiber levels too high. But I went over to it. He fell down. We got a phone call like, hey, Carl fell down again. Can you come pick him up? So I come over.
Can you come pick up the old racist white
And
guy,
it's just,
please?
Carl's on the ground, and there's just like 5 other old people there because they were having like a get together. And Carl's just on the ground like, I fell again. And I pick him up. So I pick him up and put him in his wheelchair. And then this other old guy who was there was like, "What's your name, son?" I'm like, "My name is Matt." And he's like, "Matt, you're the reason why this country's gonna be great. And this was in 2011.
White people are so stupid.
This is 2011. This was before Trump, where you're going to be the reason why this country is going to be great. And I'm like, thanks. And he goes, yeah, as soon as we get that black motherfucker Obama out of office. And I was just like, I got to go now. Bye. I'm not going to hang around. I'm not going to disclose any information lest I find myself murdered by a group of geriatrics.
Well, I happen to be half black. He just takes the wheelchair and starts swinging it. Like, Carl, you're going to fall down again.
What should have happened when I heard the other guy say that, I should have thrown Carl off the wheelchair again and then left. That would have been making a statement.
Why don't you use your Obamacare to help you up off the floor, Carl?
Will, did any white people reach out to you?
Nah, man. I don't think so. I think that, I don't know. I feel like my friends either.
You don't really have white friends though. You just have a white wife, but you don't really have white friends. That's the way I like it.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, right. That's why I got a white girlfriend.
It was not
we
strategic
all have
by any
white
means.
girlfriends/wives.
You guys act like I cherry picked. Like, it's like, I'm going to take this and I'm going back home. See you guys later.
It's kind of a decision though.
Nah, it was.
You don't think like what race of friends you have is kind of a decision?
I think that it's largely proximity based.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that
outside of the proximity. Yeah, like within your proximity, sure. Yeah, it's.
But then when you get to a certain, because I mean, look, we all making money, we all doing very well for ourselves. Our lives are great. It's wonderful. But all right, talk about your kids, nigga. I'm playing.
I was doing just fine. This is your fault. I had said not one word about the children and my oldness. I kept it right in my pocket, right? Holstered.
I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. No, but
it's all right. You're not. You just hate children. It's fine. Lots of people hate kids.
Yeah, but shit. What was I talking about?
We were asking.
Oh yeah, white friends and shit.
And he was saying,
for like the types of activities I like, all my friends, like, you know, all my friends are black or like off-white, like they're either Italian or Jewish. I don't have any, like, Blake is my only like waspy white friend, but he has a lot of nigga tendencies.
I think most of my friends all of my good friends, I feel like just knew that I was all right. Like I'm capable of processing those kind of things. I'm aware, like, our parents. I'm thoroughly aware of black people's plight. Like none of these things are a surprise. I've been getting educated on black history since birth. So, it's bad. I don't like it, but I'm not catatonic either, right? Like catatonic. Wow, that was terrible. But, I'm not in shock or, curled up in the fetal position or anything like that. Like, it more so makes me feel like I'm not doing enough to make things different, right? Like whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, man, I need to, clearly, like, things need to change. How can I be more active? And then I realized, that I'm a procrastinating, lazy person. And that is the extent of that thought. It'll be a thought and then I'll sit back down and continue playing video games. But I think most of my friends that are still like in contact with me consistently, since you have divulged that I'm in the dad bubble, the people that I do still manage to keep up with in the dad bubble know me well enough to know that, like, if they were to reach out to me like that, I just laugh at them. Like, I'm fine.
But it's because they're black though.
Yeah, I mean,
because if a black person was like, "Hey, Lyall, you good?" I'm like, "Nigga, what you trying to say?"
That's true. It is weird for like a black person to check on another black person about it. Like that doesn't really happen but see, then they say it's supposed to happen more in the community, right? Like, mental health and.
Well, check on me like my nigga, you good? Like, I appreciate that because it's like I'm not good a lot of times.
Right.
Both of you know this very well. I've called both of you up on the phone. I'm not well.
Yeah, the amount if I searched nigga, I'm depressed in my phone.
Yo, hold on. You ain't gotta put that on the pod.
If I search nigga, I'm depressed.
Why you gotta put my business out there like that? I'm supposed to put y'all business out there.
You gotta embrace it, man. Hashtag nigga, I'm depressed. Just, make it a whole movement.
No.
It's fine. You'll be all right.
Y'all can't know I like text the homies that like on a bad Sunday.
It's all right, man. We all depressed. It's good. It's fine.
God damn it, Matt.
This is a safe place. It's okay.
So speaking of which, Matt, how often? So when you type nigga in your text messages, is there anybody else other than me that's responsible for it, or do I take up most of the nigga cap salary?
My brother,
Yeah.
black friends that I went to high school with, and sometimes I will answer the phone when my white mother calls.
Whoa, my nigga!
Because it makes her very uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying she says nigga. Okay,
No. I say it to her, and she's like, "Can you please stop? I divorced your father."
Specifically, so you could not use that word.
I tried to retroactively remove it from your vocabulary, and we're stuck. Oh man, yeah. No, it's a very small circle of people, and it's.
What ethnicity is your friend group?
My high school friend group is mostly black, and then we have our buddy Tyler. Shout out to T Shaw, who's
see, this is where stereotypes come from.
Working class white man.
Couldn't be a whiter name than Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah.
That's pretty Caucasian.
white ass name for sure. But yeah, most of my friends, the people that I'm in contact with the most are black or biracial like me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that by choice?
I'd say so. Yeah.
So how do you pick out the types of friends you have? Because this is what I want to unpack this episode is like friends and things that we're gonna as the world America opens up. It's just the phone. Grow up.
Well, it's because it rang, and then I tried to put it on silent. I've been failing at the whole phone.
Oh, okay,
So it was an exasperated sigh at myself.
Yeah, it was a series of unfortunate events.
You saw me over here struggling, right? I was
Yes.
Okay, kids, podcast time. Podcast time, kids.
Basically, I felt like my children.
I don't like how you did a whip motion there.
So how do you go about going out of your way to choose to have mainly black and biracial friends? Like, what's the vetting process for that?
I guess I'm lucky that I kept in contact with the people that I was close friends with in high school, because that really so much of my social time is taken up by just being at comedy venues and hanging out with comics, to the point where I'm just like, that's already so much social interaction. So outside of that, I really want to curate who is filling that limited time.
I'm so glad you said that, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, Matt Duckett, because I found myself like that because when you're out like doing comedy, it really does, even if you are kind of like a comic, like, because when I'm at shows with you, like you just be on your phone, I'm kind of like, well, no, when I see you when you do my shit, you're on your phone, but like when I see you like run your own shit, like you all dick swinging and telling people what to do, I'm like, look at my little baby coon growing up. But but overall, like comedy requires like a lot of like being like audience members, producers, bookers, other comics. It requires a lot of like being, I don't want to say on, but being there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then when it is time to like chill, it's like, yeah, I am going to be a little bit more particular about my circle, because one thing, and this is where I think a lot of comedy beef comes from with amongst comedians, is we're just from such extreme different walks of life.
Yes.
And so like it's just bound to clash. So for me, myself, I've been finding like I really just want to be around other black men. I want to be around like fucking 25 to 38-year-old black men. Like that's what I want my shit to be. And then like the white dudes I do hang out with, the Mexican dudes I do hang out with, I want them to be like fucking alpha males and talk shit. And I want them to like HBO television series and NBA. Like that's what I want. I'm like you can't be that picky with your girl or who you settle down with, but you can with the homies. And that's like, and then after this pandemic, this quarantine, I'm even more particular about who I hang out with and what I do with my free time. And that's what I want to get into with you guys.
That's interesting, because I feel like a lot of people, it's starting to subside, but like once everything is back open, what I've been hearing from most people is just like, I'm just gonna fucking go out and just hang out and do whatever and do anything. So that's interesting that you've taken this time of isolation and are hyper focusing on curating that friend group. And I think that's good. I mean, that's a level of introspection that a lot of people did not do.
I did a lot of introspection.
Yeah, during this time period. But yeah, I think
that's what all those nigga I'm depressed texts were about. It was introspection.
Yeah, no, I think the people that are going to go wild, that are going to go out and go wild, are going to be a little bit disappointed with that, and it's not going to be. It's gonna be like a new Star Wars movie where you're like, oh shit, yeah, it's the thing, and then you watch it, and then you're like,
and I don't think we're gonna go straight to wilding out because it's a slow process. Because it's like I was talking with Ella off camera, and he was saying like just rolling around West Hollywood. He's saying like, yeah, shit's like kind of opening up. So it's like, okay, you can go to Irvine if you want a little taste. You can go to Phoenix if you want a little taste. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's gonna be this straight like. This kind of like cinematic image of like Future's Mask Off playing and like everybody's making out like it's fucking New Year's Eve.
It's just spring break for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
You guys made me feel like I need to do friend homework. I think that my friend selection process never matured past like being a toddler and just playing with whoever was in your class or who you lived around. Like I have never taken the time to curate my friend. Like I'm in contact with whoever remains in contact with me, and the people that I talk to on a regular basis, like live in my neighborhood. That's who I talk to consistently. I've never taken the time to. In a way, curate.
That's the kind of curation in its own sense that you're just like. For you, it's just, well, who's around and who's available.
I mean, and like I guess I've been fortunate. I've always been like socially nimble. So like you can put me in any sort of setting and I'll find some people to talk to.
Right.
So like as a result of that, like I don't feel as desperately like connected to the group of friends that I had like at one juncture. Like and like it's my high school friends. Once I was out of high school, like that juncture's done. Like, who am I going to meet in college? And then left that. Like who am I going to meet at work? And so on and so forth. So like there's a few that gems that stick, and you keep talking to them, and you try to keep in touch. But for the most part, it's very just proximity. Like, all right, well, where am I living? Where am I going to be at consistently? Let me find some people that don't get on my nerves.
I do feel like though, for a guy living in the suburbs now, you should have more white friends.
I mean, I think I have a lot of white associates. Like, friend is a heavy word, right? Like that's that's like mandating. So
don't you kind of like me personally? I kind of like keeping white dudes as associates and not friends. And the reason for that is white dudes are habitual line steppers.
I mean,
yes,
right. Can we unpack that real quick?
I think it boils down to like things that like are relatable, and because a lot of white dudes just don't have relatable experiences to like the average black guy, they just come off as over the top or a habitual line stepper because they just they try to overcompensate at some point and they do something wild.
Yeah, it's very easy to have the belief system of nothing is sacred when nothing has been sacred.
Ooh.
Facts. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well said.
Matt, where do you think? Because I'm a sort of guy where like I'm obviously a little particular about certain things,
Most
so
things.
That's fair. That's fair.
Which is good, right?
Yeah, I mean, even other brothers can line step with somebody like me, where it's like I'm because I was the type of nigga growing up where I'm like, nah, don't get to slap box on me because we gonna be fighting for real.
Yeah, your line is thicker than the average line. It's definitely
it's
much easier to step on.
Matt, I want you to unpack because I know it on a baseline of like white dudes getting too familiar. But for me, my perspective is just like, yeah, these niggas get drunk and they just start saying sort of shit. The very first episode of this podcast, I unpacked why I don't let white dudes buy drinks for me after shows because I know they're going to say some dumb shit at some point and they kind of think that drink like buys them that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's definitely a thing. And like, here's my inappropriate token.
Right.
Now I can say whatever the fuck I want to you at some point.
Right.
Nah, man, that's not how that works.
And Matt, I want to hear where you think, like, I really want you to unpack that. Like, why? Because what you said about how nothing's sacred with white dudes, totally true. But I'd like to hear you like expound on that and like where that comes from and all that.
I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, if you remove the black dad from the Matt equation, that in a lot of ways and senses would have been, I guess the perspective that I would have had. And that's, I guess, the benefit of kind of being truly in, I guess, the middle ground of I guess what's supposed to be the quote unquote post racial society, is that you can kind of see you're in some senses standing on the fence and I'm able to look at both sides and kind of see what's going on. But yeah, it's just that environment where you're growing up in the suburbs. You have a mom and a dad, and they're both, just like regular working people, or maybe your mom stays at home and everything. You have a dog that you had from when you were 2 years old to when you graduated college.
Like a fucking TV show.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Leave It to Beaver fucking ran for how many years it ran, because it was some relatable shit to a large portion of the population, and a mostly white, like I'd say exclusively white population, is that you kind of just lived your life. And I think as you become a teenager, that gets boring. And so you have to find excitement through something. And because you don't really have any excitement going on in your own life, and you don't have any angst, all of your angst is kind of manufactured in a way. Like, you're mad at your dad because he missed a little league game. Okay, well, at least he's around, dude. You know what I mean? I'm half black, so my dad wasn't around, but it was because he was on business trips.
We know that there was some like cigar lounges where you just didn't want to leave.
Oh yeah, no, they were there for some. I'm not.
Matt's dad. Can I describe?
Please.
Your dad for the listeners?
Please do.
So here's like how I describe Matt's dad. Matt's dad seems like somebody that, like there's this clip of Charles Barkley on Oprah, and he's saying like, well, Michael Jordan, he got all them friends that they just follow around, kiss his butt. I feel like Matt's dad would be like he'd be like the one black dude at the country club, but then when the other like former NBA player comes to the country club and brings a few other niggas, it turns into Coon Fest.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And he's got like a very like Matthew Knowles, Dwayne Casey kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of like... You know what I mean when I say Matthew Knowles and Dwayne Casey, right?
I think I have a pretty good
little bit of
mental
O.J.
picture.
Simpson if you like take out all the other that one little
take
thing.
the murder out.
Yeah, little thing.
Just toss that knife.
Just put that to the side with the mashed potatoes. But that's his. Matt's dad, he was like drunk as shit at a show, heckling me, saying my name, Lyall. Lyall's here, and I was like, "What's?" Because he a nigga named Dwayne.
Yeah, the amount of comics who have been like, there's you and like 3 other comics have messaged me like, "Yo, I just had a fucking dream about your dad." Because
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Because my dad will come to my shows if he's in town, and so he'll, my dad likes to coon, and so
both of you have like extremely coon fathers.
Well, he does like to drink, and then what happens after that?
Yeah. So yeah, my dad tends to chop it up probably a little bit more than he should, and so yeah, people were like, so my dad will end up having like a 20-minute conversation with like a random comic or like the security guard for the bar.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, yo, I had like a dream about your dad just like doing hella crowd work. That
was the dream I told you about.
Yeah, exactly. Just like with the towel, just like a stereotypical.
I mean, he kind of do look like a little Sinbad-esque.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah. But jumping back to the point about white men holding nothing sacred.
Back.
When you're bored and you have nothing to do, it's the quickest way to get some sort of dopamine hit or just like an ounce of excitement is to piss somebody off. And with the wonderful invention of the internet, it's very easy to piss off people that you will never encounter in your life. And when you're a white kid growing up in the suburbs, you're probably not going to encounter many black people. So it's very easy to go on to a Steph Curry highlight video, type an N-bomb, and just get a rush of angry comments, and just like, oh, it's not even, oh, this is like a good feeling. This is a good thing that's happening. A thing has happened because I disrespected this thing.
I like that you're doing the internet. I want to take it a step further and bring it to in person. Because for me, like with after shows, it would have especially me, because I talk a lot of shit in my act about like white people and race and stuff like that and women. So I get a lot of people challenging me after the show. Even if I killed and they like me, they still kind of want to like fuck with me a little bit, because it is kind of like fucking with the line at the zoo and throwing some peanuts and like, let me see what happens. Because I do believe white people are like that. I believe white people like the fucking black lady at the job, like they like fucking with her, hey Wanda, shut the fuck up. Ooh, Wanda got upset. Like I do think white people had that actual thing where they want a nigga to cuss them out.
Yeah, I mean it's
I think that it is a side effect of privilege, right? Because there's never any real consequence, and they're searching for a consequence. Like even in the worst case, to circle all the way back to the beginning of the show, we talked about the verdict, right? And that's like the first time damn near in history that a white cop has actually been found guilty of killing a black person
on all counts.
Right. Yeah. And that's so they're looking for this stimulation, like basically a consequence of some sort, and it literally takes murder to get one. And even then you don't usually get it, depending on your line of work.
Yeah.
So like that, I think it really is just a gross side effect of privilege. Yeah. Because they're looking for someone to, like you said, like some sort of reaction to feel something, because everything's just okay all the time.
Exactly.
And they try, and people are just like, well, he was having a bad day, or they keep excusing it away, and then they grow into mass shooters or whatever sort of poorly adjusted psychopath we have to deal with.
Batting 1,000 gets boring after a while. You hit a home run every time you're up to bat.
That's why nobody likes to play the game on easy, right?
Yeah, like, exactly.
I do.
Let me see if let's change this angle. What if I swing down and put it on the ground this time? Let's see if they can throw me out.
Just put the bat between my toes, close my eyes, roundhouse kick the ball.
And I got hit by the pitch and I'm on first anyways. So, all right. Worked out.
I knew this would work. You too. I felt like this would work.
I mean, basketball,
Kindred spirits.
Yeah. It bridges all gaps. It bridges all gaps. I always wanted to be mixed. I've been very, very black my whole life. No, was that too much? Was that a line?
Messed up. I'm like,
line cross?
Wait, hold.
Step over?
Why did you want to be a biracial?
In my youth, because of colorism, I had
that makes
100% slave hair, and I just wanted my hair to lay down, and it's to this day is growing straight to the sun, and that's fine.
That makes sense. I thought you were gonna have like I see, like if I
just wanted good hair. That's all.
2003.
I like light skinned dudes was popping when I was like little kids. I want light eyes and wavy hair, so the girls would talk to me.
Yeah, it's truly from I'd say like I don't know. When was El DeBarge thing? Like 1984. Yeah. From 1984 to now, there really has been a massive comeuppance of just like light skin popularity.
Well, because more of them are getting made though too.
Yeah,
doing
right, exactly. Yeah, before
Blake
that,
Griffin, Drake, Cole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, before that, it was just like you were just like, oh, that guy's. He's high yellow. You
were Christopher Williams getting like stabbed in the neck in New Jack City.
Yeah, exactly. And then something changed. Something about the correlation between light skins and Jerry curls just kind of welded together.
Well, it's because their hair grows the way that the chemicals are supposed to make it look.
Yes, precisely.
So
no effort on our end.
I would love for this conversation to wind up on Lipstick Alley.
I mean, I was in the heart of it, man. I wanted good hair so bad. I tried S curl, all that stuff.
It's not good hair well.
Just
all hair is good hair well.
Right.
I had like a goofy ass black teacher to say that shit.
I mean, you ain't on the playground though. All hair is good hair in here. Out there, there's a specific type that is preferred. tell me till you're blue in the face that, I should be proud. But I'm trying to get these chicks Lunchables. Can we please?
I'll tell you, I didn't want to be, I wanted to be dark skinned when I moved to the Bay because being in LA, I never thought about colorism. I was just like, I'm just a nigga Lyall. And then Oakland is a dark skinned nigga town. And I was this shit is awful. It's like the only niggas in Oakland was me and Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole was Keisha Cole's so much a nigga you forget she's light skinned.
Yeah, I forget
unless you like a nigga thinking with your dick. But
even then though, she might punch you in it. I feel like she likes to fight even during sex. Yeah. I'm good.
Angela Davis energy.
I don't need that. I'm not that aggressive.
Let's not compare Angela Davis to Keisha Cole. we already walked down a bad path. Let's not.
What
we
path
are
hasn't
way
been
down
bad
the rabbit
tonight?
hole now.
What path hasn't been
the tone
problematic?
I'm talking about killing cops. You Angela Davis and Keisha Cole. They the same type of sisters. Real positive.
Oh, God.
I was specifically referring to the punch you in the dick energy. That was as far.
All right,
that's fair. That's fair. As far as the comparison was going.
And the Oakland thing.
Yeah, no further than that.
That's fair.
A sentence I didn't think I would say. I can appreciate the punch you in the dick energy. That makes sense in that vein.
Yeah, that is it's
pretty much only there though.
So I want to get into. I got a little list here. Don't make fun of me for doing pre-production. I got a little list of types of homies. I want to see if you have them, and then I want to see if you guys are still willing to kick it with them in this post-pandemic with having time to think and all that.
Sure.
And Will, you're very well, whoever I have is around and all that stuff. And Matt, me, we're curating this level.
That's not now after the pandemic. I will say that I do have a prerequisite of.
Oh, we talk about it.
Well, no, I missed hooping so much. If you don't hoop, then I don't want to talk to you because you're not going to understand my desire to go play.
Yeah.
I will flake on anything if there's an opportunity to play basketball. Because I haven't played in literally over a year. I already tore my Achilles and had to sit down for a year. I only have so many playable years left. I'm going to hoop. Don't get in my way, please.
Yeah. My biggest fear coming out of the pandemic was I was, from the moment it started, I was I need to still be able to dunk a basketball when we get out of this.
You can dunk?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
I did not hear the half black part.
Well, we all know I can't
Aaron
dunk.
Gordon, but
we all know I can't dunk, but I've seen you dunk, and I've hooped with you, and I can tell you can play. We was playing some whack ass pickup game in Santa Barbara before the show, but
yeah, protect yourself from them, man.
I definitely,
I'm not surprised you can dunk.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like when we get out of it. But yeah, in college, I mean, I didn't play in college, but intramurals, I would throw a oop up to myself for fun.
That's one thing I wish I could do.
Dunk?
Yeah,
it is a liberating feeling.
Yeah,
the closest I've gotten to that is having a threesome, and I feel like
that's definitely comparable.
I never thought about it, but yeah, that's about.
Yeah,
I the first one, you've been trying and your fingers are all bloody and
from the threesome or the dunk.
I was talking about the dunk, but I guess either or.
Oh yeah, those
you get the little blisters.
I can still kind of see them on my hand from grabbing the rim.
Oh yeah,
I hate y'all talking about some physical shit I can't relate to, and it makes me want to fight both of y'all. Because I'm
what you should do is some leg work instead of all this arm aggression, and maybe you can. The next time we make you upset, go do some squats.
Got to get you on a tibialis program. Get this front muscle working.
You got to what is it though? You got to jump from the whole pad, not your toes. They got all kind of jumping programs now. I wish,
dude, it is crazy how many. Man, if those were out when I was in high school, I would have paid attention.
Man,
it's crazy because
it would have changed the game for real. Because they have people that specialize in just dunking that don't even hoop. All the jump mechanics, 1 foot, 2 foot, getting your penultimate step and your arm swing. Yeah. When I was coming up, you either could dunk or you couldn't.
Yeah.
The one tip I got was I was jumping too close to the rim. Like I was jumping under and going back, and that's why the ball kept hitting the back of the rim and flying up in the air.
Yeah, and now
there's all kinds of science
angles,
and math.
But before it was, are you a 1 foot jumper or a 2 foot jumper?
Right. You guys
and now
are
it's like,
alienating
which of
which of the 6 plants?
Yeah, you know y'all alienating 85% of the audience that can't dunk right now. Most of the listeners cannot
need
dunk.
To do more plyometrics or something. Like there are enough. I feel about people that can't dunk the same way I feel about people that misspell publicly. There are too many tools for you.
You cannot compare misspelling publicly to not being able to dunk.
5, 1.5, you have no excuses.
Misspelling publicly is like, you got spell check. You don't have spell check for your legs.
You do. Go on Instagram. I guarantee you can find a jumping coach. Scroll twice.
Okay, but you don't have to spend like hours upon hours trying to dunk versus trying to spell.
Well, I think we do.
If you want to do it correctly, you do.
See, this is how
you don't just know how to spell everything right away. It takes practice.
This is what comes with slave hair. You get slave genetics, where you can just naturally dunk.
Yeah. But I can't read.
We really.
I mean, you can't, but you can dunk.
We need to check our vert privilege.
Y'all need to check y'all vert privilege.
I'm sorry.
All right. So
friends list.
Yeah.
Friends.
Let's get into
friends who can dunk.
How many of us have? That's what it is.
Let's get into the asshole homies. Let's get into the asshole homies. Do you guys feel? Because I feel like I have like less asshole. Probably like my biggest asshole friend is probably Illa.
So that's what I was gonna say. Here, what are we talking? Asshole friends that are assholes like on purpose, like that are mean spirited, or people that have like poor people skills and are assholes on accident?
Okay, so there's like a fine line between that.
Because like I had the accidental asshole that was like my best friend. Well, we're friends now. He's better now. But like
who?
Lance was like.
Yeah. He's not an asshole though. He's like he was like a nigga incel.
He was
like
very
a big nigga that got no pussy, punching walls.
He had some.
That's not asshole though. He was mad he wasn't fucking.
Right, but like
I don't consider
the
that
nigga
asshole.
qualities that you are referring to, you're just saying asshole in black. Like that's just.
Well, I'm unpacking it now.
Like
I'll unpack it. Will
it's the same difference. Like
I will unpack
like the annoyances of niggas is a synonym for asshole. Like
Lyall, unpack the nig cell.
Please do.
Unpack like him as an individual or just nigga incels?
Just in general.
Yeah, I don't think
okay,
him
nigga
as an
incels
individual
are different than like regular incels. Because like, I don't want to say regular, but like white incels are like, I'm not getting no pussy, I'm gonna shoot up a thing, but they're even more desocialized. Whereas nigga incels, we actually have homies that get pussy.
Yep.
You know, so and then like the nigga, because like I would see like the nigga incels, they like roll around Will trying to get some pussy crumbs from his DJ gigs. Oh, Will gonna drop some pussy crumbs, and it would never happen, and they'd be all upset eating fried chicken out of a bucket, just wondering what the fuck went wrong with their life.
No idea these things were happening.
Oh man,
you wasn't paying attention. You was too busy getting pussy, but you know,
and not spilling crumbs apparently.
Right.
Anyway, I feel like
hold on, I'm not done with nigga incels.
Oh, please.
And nigga, like the nigga incel really loves him some Tupac. Cause it's like an angry nigga, but like it's not he's not corny about it. So it's like, yeah, I like being angry. And they think like being angry is cool. They think like, well, if I'm just angry enough, maybe I'll anger my way into some pussy.
There's a large Mexican faction that appreciates Pac like real deep that I didn't know when I first started DJing. And they just kept asking for Pac. I'm like, how are you going to anyway?
Yeah.
I digress. Carry on.
Continue.
Let's try to stay on topic, Will.
You're right. My bad. I get sidetracked very easily. I every now and then I want to talk about the Mexicans.
I'm gonna come on your podcast and just like go off track every 5 seconds. So anyway,
I don't even have an outline. If you can go off track, I would applaud you for finding it.
Yeah.
Will, stop it. All right, so
stop it.
So that's like the nigga incel though.
Yeah.
Whereas like the asshole is kind of more like somebody that says something true where it's just like, God damn it. And like it's true, but it's like, God damn it. Okay. Like Illa, for example, on the way here, Illa texted me. I'm gonna pull up this text right now. Illa texted me, you're disrespecting the schedule of your guests by being so late. I'm like, nigga, I know. You don't gotta fucking Like, what the fuck was the purpose of that?
It looks like he's writing up another one right now.
Well, I have my phone on airplane mode when I pod.
Mean, though.
It's not mean. No, but it's asshole. I never said it was mean. But it's like, hold on, I'm not done. I'm just gonna talk about Ella because he's here. So like one time,
I see where we're going with this.
One time it was his birthday, and I texted him. No, but I'm gonna bring it back. So one time it was his birthday, and I texted him. I was like, "Happy birthday, old nigga!" And he texted me back. He said, "I'd rather be old and have money than be young and broke." And I said, "Yeah, me too." And he said, "What's good with you?" And then whatever. Yeah. But it's like that's like asshole. But it's like it's stuff that you need to hear. That's like good spirited. And so like that to me is asshole. Whereas like a mean friend,
Lance was that.
A mean friend says like slick shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a mean friend is like kind of like you wearing those same shoes again today? Well, nigga, what the fuck's you like? Man, how come you always eating that every time man, you still doing it? You still seeing that same barber? And it's like a mean friend kind of almost has like this like bitchy woman tone to them, where it's like, nigga, I thought you was a man. Don't talk to me like that.
That sounds like the intentions play a role. Like the meanness is the same, but the asshole has good intentions because he's telling you the fucked up shit because he wants you to do something about it. Whereas the mean person is telling you because they want you to feel bad about it.
Correct. But there's a thing with asshole friends where if they're not very useful, you start going, why aren't we friends? Because one thing I started doing is I started going, when I'm done seeing people, how the fuck do I feel when I walk away? So do you guys feel like you have asshole friends? Am I your asshole friend? I don't think I'm an asshole friend.
I wouldn't. Certainly not in the definition that you just provided. I don't think I have a lot of those friends because, and this is going to sound pretentious as shit, I don't think I need to be checked like that too often. So I don't think I need that type of person to be around.
Damn.
Like I definitely I value it if someone does call me out on some bullshit, but I'm not stepping into much bullshit like these days.
that really touched me, Matt, because I'm like, I do need that friend.
Yeah.
Will,
I see the value though. I definitely see the value in a friend like that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I guess I'm with Matt. I don't need anyone to tell me that per se. So my friendships do not revolve around it.
All right.
And like if there was someone that was overly critical and like that was their niche was to always, tell me about myself.
In high school, I don't need
that.
I feel like for most people in high school, everyone had that mean asshole friend that you were talking about. And those people, the moment you toss the cap, you're just like, I'm done with this person. There's no reason to talk to them again.
Youth, that circles back to like youth and proximity. Like in high school, you have that friend because you got to go to high school every day. Like you don't have control over your friend pool. Like now as an adult, if I have somebody that is continuously like giving me unwanted critiques, then I'm going to cycle you out of my friend circle. Like because I don't need that and I have control over it now. Yeah. Whereas like in high school and, at any other juncture, schooling wise, you don't have control over your pool. Yeah. So you're like, oh, well, Jimmy's an asshole, but he lives down the block and his mom are friends, so he's got to come with me because we carpool or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so you learn to tolerate it.
Yeah. But I have friends who still have those mean asshole friends. And that's when it becomes, oh, is this person going to be there too? Okay, I'm good. I'm not going to show up. Don't need to deal with it.
Right. I get it. Asshole acquaintance, I said like, I'm gonna knock you in the face next time I see you, right? And he fell back. You gotta do that sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was a white boy that was a habitual line stepper, by the way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely.
That's kind of sometimes the only language they understand, right? If they're habitually line stepping, then they're not gonna understand anything.
Nah, you gotta be a nigga with them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The threat of physical violence.
Scumbag friends. Do you guys? Because I've made it clear. I have scumbag adjacent friends. Mm-hmm. Like scumbag adjacent friend is something like where there's normally something involving like cocaine in a place it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like I've never done cocaine. Will, you never done cocaine. Matt, you never done cocaine?
Never did.
Matt never did no cocaine. So, but there's like I got friends
Crack
like that
is
where
whack.
Yeah, but they'll text.
Don't do it.
Mookie.
Oh man, get a little dare spot real quick. I still got my T-shirt.
Scumbag and
It's
dirtbag
off
being
gray
like
now.
a little different, but I do feel like I don't see any like use for scumbag. You know, the one thing with scumbag friends is like if you ever want to go out randomly, like on a Wednesday night, they can tell you a place to meet them.
Mhm.
Like they're good for like spur of the moment bar excursions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many of
But you can't trust them around your girl.
so many of those personalities are stand-ups. And so I deal with them so much on that, on the non-curated basis. I'm dealing with those types of people so much that there's even there's just no there's no possible way to have that person in the curated space. Because again, it's so much of my regular interaction is a person who just did coke for 3 days straight and is now bombing at a coffee shop, you know. And you can only take
LA
so much.
comedy in a nutshell.
You can only take so much, you know.
Yeah. No,
So you don't because then I'm not getting the fun parts of having that acquaintance. It's really only the negatives. And I guess, you know, if I went up to somebody and was like, hey, you guys going to go get fucked up or something like that somewhere, then I could hop on that bandwagon if I wanted to. But yeah, it's just that so many of those types have not infiltrated, have existed in perpetuity.
Like it's the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
They infiltrated the stand-up.
Yeah, no,
community.
they're just there. They always have been. That's why they're there, because they can do it there.
Comedy is way too accepting, I think.
Yes.
Will, do you have you ever had any like scum? Because you just said fucking you can't trust them around your girl, the scumbag.
See, yeah, like when I think of a scumbag, I think of more of like the dude that'll hit anything at any moment and is always trying to, you know, he's always on the prowl, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I hate those.
I guess I feel like I'm not in the industry enough to have any cocaine friends. So my cocaine experiences are few and far between. But I did have a handful of friends that like, I just, you know, you don't want to bring them everywhere because they're sloppy in their pursuits, I think is the best way to phrase it.
And they're just kind of down for like any, like you said, anything.
Yeah, literally anything. I'm like, man, come on, you gotta have like
I don't like that energy.
There is no line to step across for them. I'm like, I need people with lines in their lives because I have lines. If you don't have anything, I know you're gonna step on mine because you don't know what they are.
Right.
So like we can't. I had one of those for a while, and then finally I was able to. They were part of the banana cream pie cycle out.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about earlier.
My last set of friends.
You got a story for us on that about like how you can't trust them around your girl? Some shit that happened because like that's what we want.
Not like specifically, just in, you know, I remember that juncture in my life and a group of people getting cycled out, and those two were part of that cycle because they were very much the same. But yeah,
were they in cahoots?
That's the thing. Like, I don't think that they were specifically.
I'm really trying to get this nigga to.
I don't like. I feel like the only thing that I can think about is, but it didn't have anything to do with that. Like, she was helping him plan his wedding or something, and I left his wedding because I was late for work, and his wedding was hella late, and I didn't want to be there in the first place because we were already like on the outs. And I'm like, I'm not about to get fired from my job to be at a wedding I don't want to be at, to, you know, sit next to a girl that I didn't want to talk to.
Oh, okay. I thought some like shady shit happened. I was like, all right,
not between the two of them.
That's too bad.
I feel like, I just think that like they became friends after I stopped talking to both of them at the same time.
Oh, nigga, I think we know what that means.
So
yeah,
that means something. I've had plenty of guys that I was like kind of cool with, and they broke up, and their girls was like, "Hey, Lyall, what's going on? When's your next show, Lyall? How's it going? I like your social media post." That has happened. So, you know, it's...
That's fine. They can go poison the earth together. I don't need either one of them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Poison the earth.
So after this is... I mean, we're all like in relationships, but you know, nigga, whatever. So the get on the bitches, homie. The friend is like really fun to get on bitches with. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say you and my brother. My brother is.
You were the let's go talk to some chicks guy.
Yeah.
And anytime I would forget, you would refocus me.
Lyall, I remember one time, Lyall was trying to get me laid so bad after a Christmas show. Just like we were just at the bar, just drinking afterwards, and he was winging me. He was talking to this girl on my behalf with no request put in on my end.
Well, that is
by the way,
A+ wingman. That
Lyall
seizes the opportunity that's not there.
And he's like, the woman was older, and at this point, I was like barely 21, and so Lyall,
good place to start.
Yeah, Lyall was like, all right, like check it, like this like 38-year-old chick, like. She wants to squeeze your cheeks because you look young and cute, but she will have sex with you if you let her do that. And I was like, I have to go to my parents' house in 45 minutes because it's Christmas Eve. And
this was on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was on Christmas. And Lyall's like, and I was like, you were my champion. I appreciate you putting your weight behind this for me, but I need to go home and throw up because I've had 6 IPAs.
And that's the type of man Lyall Behrens was.
In a nutshell.
Play this at my funeral.
Lyall is fucking Frank Thomas, where he will step up to the plate, does not matter who's on the fucking mound. He's taking his hacks and he's hitting 500.
I'm swinging.
Yep.
This shit's going out of the park. Do you remember we almost got us jumped for them 3 Hispanic girls because the one girl told you to choke her and you did it and then she immediately got upset?
Yeah.
This was just in the street. Just there was no privacy. There wasn't a door, like a shawl, a corn, nothing. They were we'd all just left the bar and we're outside, doing the whole everybody's trying to talk and find their cars and be drunk. And
I don't know why we telling this story.
This is insane.
It's your commitment to the pursuit of the female species.
Well, wait. Oh, because this is gonna make me sound bad because you're talking about me choking a woman.
But she asked you to do it.
She did. What? Yeah, because what happened was my friend Dustin Hempstead. He was like, he had this thing where he would go up to girls and he would say like, "You seem like a choker." And that line would work. So I was like, oh man, I need to start doing that shit.
That's how it all started.
This was definitely a pre-2017 pickup line.
Right? Oh, totally. No, this is like 2012.
Yeah.
We was doing this. So I would go up and I'm like 21, 22 in 2012, 2013. So I would go up and I was just like, you seem like a choker. And then,
see, I didn't have that playbook. Nor did I know that was getting called. So I'm standing over here and he's running the play.
And
next thing I know.
And you was right there when she asked me to choke her.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a real choke. It was like.
But hands were around neck area. It was close enough to apparently frighten her and to look unusual to the, I don't know, civilian eye. If you just happen to walk by and you see someone, I don't know, casually, gingerly, however you want to describe it, placing their hands around a small woman's neck, I don't think you're going to be like, she's probably after that.
Hold on. She wasn't that small, nigga. She had some curves if Lyall Behrens was talking to her.
Yeah, she wasn't BBW, though. She was small enough to look like a victim.
Yo, why the fuck
she was an Amazon
podcast, nigga?
I just...
this had nothing to do with the subject we was talking about.
Because you didn't let me finish. You immediately got defensive.
There's a lot of squeezing going involved in your pussy story. It's a squeezing of my cheeks, squeezing of throats.
Well, how you think you get to the pussy?
Yep, right.
I guess
need some
from the throat.
There you go.
Just choke them.
All right, finish your story and let's see if you make me look good. Otherwise, we're going to have to edit this shit out.
Otherwise, it will be.
I'm not even gonna finish the story. My point was,
yeah. Actually, don't finish the story because it really just involves you being like a bodyguard and me trying to run. It involves me like running away, trying not to catch a case.
Because the police showed up.
The police never showed up.
That's why everyone left. Not because someone called them, just because there were too many people outside of the club. It was the perfect timing.
Yeah. The police showed up. Yeah,
right. Yeah, they
happened.
pulled up and flashed the lights. Not like, somebody was like, oh my God, there's someone getting killed.
Can you understand how I'm like a little defensive? We having an on-camera conversation about me choking a little Mexican girl.
But I opened with she asked you to do it. I didn't present it as
they gonna edit that out. And when I say they, I don't mean our people. I mean, they.
Well, that's their bad.
It'll be my bad too. Shit.
I mean, well.
Anyways, keep going. Like, save me somehow.
No, you're making it very difficult now because it's
just go.
Making it sound like an attack.
Just go.
The point was that I would not have been there that night had you not been in town and the driving force and let's go out and go do something. So it was a testament to your ability to generate the desire to go out and shenaniganize.
That
one went
said
left.
all that without saying that. You could have just said,
I was going to, but I got interrupted as I am being now.
I'm saying you didn't have to add the choking part. Like,
that was the opener. How do I not add it if that's what I started with?
Ladies and gentlemen, airplay in the bedroom can be a fun and thrilling experience for all parties involved.
There we go.
But be sure that you practice it with consent and with the proper technique.
All we need is
Do not place your hand directly on the Adam's apple. Place your hand slightly around the sides of the neck and squeeze gently to the desired amount of pressure.
Like put the mask on yourself first. Airplane instruction.
All right,
I'm going to go home and try to properly choke someone now. Now I feel like I know how to do it the right way. It was a good time.
This is a non-kink shaming podcast.
I don't even know how to get to the next one after.
On that note.
This is probably karma for all the people I threw under the bus on my own podcast.
I mean, I feel like had you not taken it that way, it wouldn't have been.
Well, I am a nigga. There's
you put that thought into people's heads. If you'd have just let me finish the story, no one would have thought that you were looking bad because they would have heard the whole thing. Now all they hear is, you said I was choking somebody, and then we spiraled off topic.
You did say consent, but if the whole point was, well, Lyall's really good for helping us get out, you can just say, yeah, niggas good for going out. There was no need for that as the intro.
But what point does that, like, that does, there's no emphasis there. Like, that doesn't mean anything. There had to be a good story. There had to be something that I remember.
Compelling content.
Exactly. Nothing is more compelling than a good choke story.
That story's doing numbers on TikTok, bro.
Let's cancel Lyall Barons.
Getting canceled is the good bad pub you need. Because for everyone that's not canceling you, everyone else is paying attention. And usually there's a very small group of people that are actually canceling you.
Let's talk about the therapy, homie.
Look at the numbers of the cancel culture. I would like to be canceled.
Let's talk about the therapy, homie, Will.
The therapy, homie. I can't afford therapy, homie.
Yeah. Nobody can.
It costs too much.
But the therapy, homie, how many of you guys have like somebody where it's like, all right, when I'm really got some shit on my plate, this is who I go to?
I do like to call a good mariachi band. That is
right.
That puts me in the right mood.
Another put you in
Chips
a good mood.
And salsa. Some beer and tomato juice. That's my therapy. No, I don't drink any of that stuff.
So therapy, homie, like what
therapy?
Well, I mean, Matt, I want this to stay on the topic.
I don't have any therapy homies. Really, I'm the therapy homie to all of my friends.
You have been to me.
Yeah, that's.
I once called up Matt when I during one of my nigga depressed texts. And Matt was like, sometimes like you just got to go through the fucking shit that you go through, this is my impression of you. And you just got to like, sometimes you got to have a Sunday where you just feel like a piece of shit and order Panda Express. And I did that day and watched some reruns of a show I've seen a million times and felt great.
Yeah.
Not great, but like, yeah.
Like, yeah, you were able to cope with the emotions that you were feeling at the time. Yeah, no, that's, I would say, luckily my day job has really good insurance. So if I need therapy, I can take care of that without my, all friends that I like open up to shit about, they know everything about me. But yeah, I don't seek counsel as much with my friends as they do vice versa. I am more likely than not, if a friend of mine is giving me a phone call, it is because they want me to impart some wisdom or just like talk them through whatever.
How come you never
feeling.
seek it out? Like some like counsel?
Because I just go to regular therapy.
Oh, you just go to regular therapy?
Yeah. I just have a therapist who I've been seeing for so long that like our phone calls are like 15 minutes and he doesn't charge me. So it's just like, okay.
What ethnicity is your therapist?
White.
I got right now I'm seeing a white dude, but he's from New Zealand, which like, you know.
Off-white.
My therapist.
Off-white, yeah.
My therapist is just like a white dude from Chicago who's been to like 30 Grateful Dead concerts. So he might not actually be a therapist. He might just be a guy on hallucinogenics.
He might just be Creed from The Office.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, he gets the job done.
I'm looking for a black therapist, but I got. Like,
I think that's fair.
I'm just trying. Like I'm just using this one to get me used to the concept of therapy.
Yes,
and to work out some of my anger issues, and then
I think your therapist does have to be able to relate on some level. I think that's totally fair.
Will, who do you seek counsel with?
I don't that often. I guess I'm again in Matt's boat. I get a lot of, like, if I'm on the phone talking about some heavy shit, it's because someone has brought it to me and is looking for something, some sort of clarity, answer, something. Or sometimes I just want to talk at somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you're a dad too, so people like automatically bestow
I don't know
wisdom onto you.
It's they definitely
you got
do.
kids, you've got it together.
Yeah, like what's going on. Not at all. No, we're all just hanging on by a thread. But you need a backup, though. You can't go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's some stuff you're just not gonna go over well.
100%. Yeah.
So,
because like you got to complain about your girl to somebody.
Yeah,
that part. Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, because you obviously have your actual therapist, but it's like I don't even like talking about my girl to my therapist. I like talking about my girl to like you niggas.
I think unless you got like some severe relationship issues, generally like your local counsel can get you through most of your relationship problems. Like whatever your group of friends is, like I think therapy for relationships is just lazy. Like you just try again. It didn't work. If you don't, there's no reason to spend all this money and time. Just try again. Like the math would suggest that you're better off just trying again, given population and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I think especially for girl problems, I just turn to my friends. In general,
that's the way
there's not like a specific one. I just call up the counsel and let's talk about why these bitches get on my nerves.
Yeah, there's definitely been plenty of times where court has been held in like a group text. Where it's just like, all right, here's the problem. Let's get everyone's input and just Frankenstein together.
Oh yeah,
some sort of solution.
Well, I got to get input because I have like a lot of like older friends that like are like single. Because I think like if you're like over 35 and single, like you kind of become a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Because like I know dudes that are like 38 and like live by themselves and like it's.
You're either you become a weirdo or you get really good at surfing.
Well, these are black friends.
Oh, okay.
So they get really good at taking selfies in the club. They get really good at
finding
taking
new
pictures.
ways to consume Hennessy.
Yeah,
blunt rolling techniques.
Taking a picture on the airplane. Be right back. It's like you just going to Vegas, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
Take off your green Yankee hat. It's not even the right color.
Looking like a 2003 NBA draft suit.
So like, what's 35, 30? Like, what is the age that you're just not allowed to be single?
Well, it's not about like being excuse me. It's not about being allowed or not allowed to be single. But there is a certain point where if you've been single whole time, you've never been married, never had kids, what it is you are very extremely used to doing things your way and not having to answer to anybody. And with that,
also very used to masturbation.
Sure. Well, a lot of them, if I'm gonna keep it real, they be paying for pussy sometimes, at least on Vegas. Well, a lot of them, they
Just
be
saying.
like, man, I'm gonna go fly to Brazil and just like, have a blast,
Oh, we're talking that like specifically for the old black friends.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, that is the old black dude like default get out of jail free. Well, I'll just go to Brazil where the women appreciate a man.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
I guess if you're single at that age, you just have the financial resources to fly to Brazil
You do.
on a whim.
But I mean, it's also like, man, you gonna like sit in a box for like 14 hours to go get some pussy? Like,
Yeah, no, I won't drive 30 minutes. So I'm definitely not getting on an airplane. You live where? Yeah, nah, I'm good. It's all right. I got practice in
What's
the
the
morning.
longest that you've ever traveled with the guarantee of sex?
what is the distance from
I lost a bet to San Diego. I was supposed to go to San Diego. I lost $100 to
What's the
Mr. Illa. I should have gone just for the money.
Matt's laughing because he could tell I'm pissed off every time I get ready. Every time I'm answering something, Will chimes in with a joke. Will gets a joke off every time in the middle of answering a question.
It's my fault. I'm sorry. Drink my drink. Please carry on, sir.
So the longest I've ever been to travel to get some pussy, whatever the distance between like Oakland to Redlands is.
Okay.
But every time I've like traveled to get some pussy, I've always had like I've met girls places, and then it just so happened I would have a show there in like 2-3 weeks.
Gotcha.
Does that count?
Yeah, I think that still counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Redlands, Santa Barbara. Yeah, that's the farthest I traveled to get some pussy.
Yeah, Beta Santa Barbara. It's like 4 hours?
Yeah, but it's like I still had like a purpose there.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, traveled just for like pussy. I don't know, San Jose, Oakland to San Jose. So that's like 45 minutes.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I was gonna say it's under an hour. If it's over an hour, I'm not going.
No, I've 3-hour drive. But because that person had previously driven 3 hours
That's different.
the other way.
I would reciprocate if they'd done it.
Yeah, it
Like,
was a reciprocation thing.
I'm fair, but like if she's just like, yeah,
Fair.
I'm ready, and I I live in San Francisco, and you're still in Los Angeles, like, well, you're gonna be ready for a long time because I'm not coming.
Non-reciprocal, definitely no more than like from like Danville to like Berkeley.
Will, what's
45.
yours?
Distance?
Yeah.
I think I went to Riverside once from LA, which is like 45 minutes.
Riverside, right by Ontario.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's like right near there.
I'm not a traveler. I won't do it. My problem is I'd always rather play basketball. So like if it's too much hassle, I'm like, well, I just go shoot. It's fine. There's other
You guys
things
are like
to do.
just amplifying how toxic I am this episode. You guys are like, yeah, I just dunk. Life's been good. I hate talking to 2-parent household niggas. You guys are like just so fucking lily and everything was like, oh God.
Too much basketball and
let me
video
just-
games in our youth.
That is my entire youth.
Same here.
If I wasn't hooping, I was playing video games. I wasn't doing one of those things. I was asleep.
I need to get some like fatherless niggas in here that fucking got some demons.
I don't like to drive long distances. I don't know.
Be in the car. You're all cramped up when you get out.
Right?
You're not-
like it's not. I mean,
You're not going to play your best game.
you can't drive, like you can't hold anticipation for much longer than about 45 minutes to an hour. After that, it's no. Now I'm on a road trip. Like now I've made a stop at a gas station. I've gotten snacks. I've asked for directions. Like my mood is all different.
You do come in kind of like upset too. It's
Of
just
course,
like
I might have hit some traffic randomly.
Yeah.
Somebody ran over a deer on the way.
You get one album to listen to in the car. And then after that, you're like, fuck, I'm driving in a car.
Is this the outro? Oh, shit. I've been driving too long.
So now with stuff reopening, because like I talk about, like we talked about Friends. Excuse me. We talked about Friends, but where are you guys in terms of what you like don't want to do with your time. Because I think about like how I spent my 20s, like having turned 30 this past year. And I think like I did like I pursued comedy and all that, and it's great and gave my all to it. But I'm like, I spent way too much time in bars having these conversations with people I don't want to fucking have these conversations with. And I say all that to say, like, now with the pandemic, like over, like, well, not over, but like as things reopening, we now have had time to take inventory. So I'm wondering, like, what you guys are like, I don't want to spend my time doing this. Or like, you know what? I am kind of cool just doing nothing. Like, where are you guys at with free time? Because for me, with free time, my girl knows she cannot bring any of her goofy coworkers, friends, or relatives around me, because I have like curated this thing where I cannot be, I love Matt's laughing because he knows, I cannot be around people that are going to say stupid shit around me, because I'm like, no, my peace is everything. So anything that I control, I can't be around people like that. Like, what are some places or things where you guys like, no, that's done, that you used to do? Or you guys are going to tell me like, no, I did everything I wanted to do before this. Like, life was all good. And niggas were just dunking, playing basketball, being productive. Everything was good. Like, are you guys going to tell?
I mean, no, I'm kidding. I did spend a lot of time in the home gym. Nah, I don't know. I guess my tolerance for just forced socialization in general is much lower. Like, to bring up the children, unfortunately, like the kids that we can play with, that pool has been greatly diminished, right? Because all the play areas are closed, can't go to the park, all that stuff. So we're stuck with the neighborhood kids, and not all of the neighborhood kids are my favorite kids for my kids to play with. Mm-hmm. So now that we have options, I feel like I'm gonna put some space in between the play dates, like as much space as possible. Because I didn't like them. I didn't like the kid before the pandemic, and it only got worse because I had to see them.
I met the kid; he's a little asshole.
So I just think, just in general, my tolerance for, I guess, similar to what you were saying, just social situations that I don't appreciate, I will exit faster.
Matt, what about you?
There's a give and a take. There's certain things that I'm like, yeah, I really don't have the capacity to do that anymore. And then there's certain things where I'm like, you know what? I should actually participate in this social environment a little bit more. On the terms of what like I can't do anymore, I used to always be that person where if I was booked on a show, I would show up an hour early, hang out, help out if somebody needed help setting up or doing something like that.
I loved that, Matt.
For you, always happy to oblige.
Yeah, it's a little different, but
like,
yeah.
Just like a show where like I barely know or don't know the person that I got booked on, I would still do that sort of thing. I found the more that I thought about it, there really is there's a benefit and there's a attitude of professionalism to just showing up when you're needed, doing your set, and getting the fuck out.
You're not doing more than what's needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad you learned that, because I don't know how long it took me, but for me, there was like so many times where like these LA niggas would come up to the Bay Area and they'd be like, hey, Lyall, I'm like hooked them up with a bunch of shit, told them where to go. They'd ask me a bunch of like, so what train stop do I get off at? And they was like, damn, nigga, I'm not Google, but I helped them anyways. Then I come down here, hey, what's up with some stage time? Well, the open, and they like hand me a list of open mics. I'm like, fuck you, Chinadu. Okay, like, nigga, I put money in your pocket. You fucking Nigerian asshole. Shout out Chinadu Nakas. I'm not really angry, but what I'm saying, like, shit like that would happen. Yeah. Like, why am I even helping you niggas?
I always, whenever Chinadu comes up, I do have to bring up the story of I was maybe because we both went to UCSB. Him a few years before me, but he came back to do a show, and I was probably 2 weeks into stand up at that point, and my friends in the Black Student Union knew that I did stand up, and they were like, "Oh, Chinadu, you should have this guy in our club open for you." And so we're like, in the green room, which was just like a classroom. Before
The Laughology green room?
It wasn't for Laughology. It was for
Okay.
a different. It was for like a specific Black Student Union comedy thing.
Oh, okay.
And we were just like in this back room, and he hands me $5, which I thought was him paying me for the show. And I take the $5, and he goes, "Can you get me a Sprite out of the vending machine?" And I was like, I'm 18, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go get a Sprite for you.
That nigga is such a fucking Nigerian.
And then I was like, I was walking back with the Sprite in my hand. I was like, probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just been like, it's around the corner.
No, he actually tried to do that when he was doing, and this is again like fuck these niggas, right? Shenadu was like he was doing my show. There's some other shit that he did. I'm not gonna, because I'd be violating a man code if I said it. But this thing that he did was I can talk about. What he did was after, like, before a show, and we had worked out a door deal because he has a bunch of people in the Bay. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's break bread. And he comes up to me. He's like, "So Lyall," and he just puts his hand around my shoulder, and he's like, "So I'm gonna need you to get me," because he talks like that. "I'm gonna need you to get me a vodka soda. Appreciate that." I said, "Yeah, bar's right there, nigga." And he was like, "Well, I got my fans, I got my people over there, and they're all gonna want to talk to me if they see me." And I said, "Nigga," and I walked away. Nigerians are such a pain in the ass.
Better way to handle that situation. To be fair, Shenadu has always been wonderful. Other than the Sprite request, has always been super.
Other than asking me to fetch beverages,
and I
he's a
should
very
not.
nice
I should
gentleman.
not have been on that fucking show because I was so bad. I opened up a show in front of Black people and Black women with a joke that was, "Hey, you know what WNBA stands for? Women not being attractive."
Wow.
That was the open. Those were the first words out of
Best
my
joke
fucking mouth.
I like it. I like
Oh God.
This
I
kid
was
came to
closer
the
to becoming an incel than I'd like to admit, I think.
That's like a fucking
Whip it,
tweet that like Dante DiVincenzo would post.
Yeah. My God.
That's great. We've got no excuse for being a dick to me, so no, fuck that.
So I probably the Sprite tax is probably appropriate in that situation.
Might have earned that one.
Yeah, I earned that one.
But it sounds like when you were like circle back to what you were talking about, like showing up an hour early and doing all the extra work. It's like the fine line between being thirsty and helpful.
Yes.
Like you want to be, helpful and do your job, but you also don't want to appear desperate.
Yeah. 100%.
So you got to find that, that happy
It's
place.
a balance. And I think I found the appropriate point.
Especially these bitch ass niggas in LA comedy, they'll take advantage of that.
That's true. I'll give you that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like LA just the LA in general.
All these
will do
fake
that
nice
to you.
niggas from the Midwest. Fuck that.
They'll,
Hey, great to see you. Like, nigga, fuck you.
It's true. It's true. Oh, but because all that was because we were talking about like what we have the capacity for. I realize now I want to make time for just more, I guess, like casual bullshitting at bar. I'd like to start going to bars without the intention of doing a stand-up set there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever, I think maybe one or two times I've gone to just a dive without the intention of doing a set there. And I'm like, yeah, it would be nice to just sit down and have a drink with four people that I like and just shoot the shit for a couple hours and then come home.
That's great, man. Time.
And not have I'm entering my father's cigar lounge tendencies. As I get older, I realize, oh yeah, you kind of do need a cigar lounge to fuck off to for a few hours and just,
especially when you're like you, where you have like a good, healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll just fight the healthiness of my relationship. Just add some toxic shit just because I'm like, let's keep this shit masculine and gangster. Stay dangerous. You got to do that. No, but I can't tell if I'm joking or not. That's what scares me. That's what frightens me.
Oh shit.
What was I gonna say? No, but yeah. That's important. Is to have that like kind of like that decompress and like to have like the everyday homies.
Yeah,
because you got to have your like everyday peoples where you can do like man activity shit like that with.
I mean, my circle is. It's difficult to separate the washedness because my circle.
All right.
Especially when the kids were little, like my group of friends was like 3 stay-at-home moms that like walked the block when I was walking the block with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like I guess the pandemic made me feel one that it made me appreciate the importance of keeping in touch with your actual friends.
Yes.
Because
sure.
I've always been very bad at that because in my mind, like, you know, I can talk to them, like they're my friends. I can talk to them whenever, like we'll catch up. It's fine. Like I am pretty good at like not talking to someone for a long period of time and then picking up where we left off. Like I'm one of those kind of friends. Like, well, I haven't seen Will in 3 years and we'll be out drunk like all night. And, you know, like we were hanging out the day before. But the pandemic sort of, you know, put a bit of a monkey wrench in that.
Yeah.
So my keep in touch skills are very poor. And
even just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Right. Exactly.
You know, just because you can have a lot of distance and then pick it back up doesn't mean that that's the way that you should go about it.
Totally. And I think I relied on that like way too heavy. And, you know, just the consistency of the, hey, what's up? Like, and not necessarily needing something or wanting to have a long drawn out conversation, just checking in because like we're cool and I want to make sure, you know, your life's not on fire.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. I'm terrible at that and I feel like I need to be better. So like that my friends know that they're still my friends.
Yeah,
just,
exactly. Yeah.
You know,
you gotta make time for an 8-minute phone call.
Totally.
Sometimes.
Totally. I think that, that and what it also gave me, it gave me more focus on maintaining my fitness because I wanted to be able to play. Like, so like I went into I went into like a quarantine, like the first couple months, I didn't do anything. I bought an elliptical, I bought weights, like I spent time.
I would have bought a Peloton if I had room for it in my apartment.
I'm not
people
quite that successful just yet.
Guys right now.
But
like I know my audience.
I didn't get a Peloton. I got
I'm
a
not
Nordic
even
track.
in
I couldn't
particularly
afford the
good shape.
Like,
this is all this talk of like being productive. Look, I'll
you
tell
asked
what the fuck
what I did in the pit. You want me to lie?
No, I never said. I never asked what you did in the pit. This whole pod, you've been like making up interview questions for yourself.
Right. You didn't ask me that at all. You asked me what my favorite flavor of coffee was. That was what the question was. It was totally unrelated.
Mitt Romneying the hell out of this podcast.
You have been Mitt Romneying the hell out of this podcast, Will. Yes, you have been.
You're right. You didn't ask any questions. I made it all up.
I did ask questions. I didn't ask that.
Oh man.
Like there's got to be like a certain kind of like fuck. I got a year's worth of master classes for $300 and I didn't watch one. So there's like a certain there's just like a lot of hate in my heart when I hear like you guys talk about being productive.
Oh, I mean, I have a meditation app that I haven't used.
There's lots of stuff.
There's like, things. There's
3
things.
or 4 different fitness programs that are still on my phone. Like
you gentlemen had a good time.
A fantastic time.
Will, thank you very much for joining us. Matt Duckett, thank you very much for joining us. This has been the Let's Unpack That podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Like, subscribe, all that.
Consider AirPlay unpacked this episode.
If you ever need someone to interrupt you, I am available.
Please tell me to stop recording right at that.
I promise you. It's what I'm good at. I've got my niche. If you want your thoughts derailed.
For the record, I said the N-word 3 times this episode. That is the most.
I closed out the show, Ralph. They're just
most of the
they're just talking to talk at this point.
Because we don't matter, apparently.
You were asking.